Well, hello everyone. Here we are on Facebook. Be Live was having a little glitch for me tonight, so I'm coming to you straight from the Tarot Journey page and broadcasting the Tarot Journey radio show from the Tarot Journey Julie page. So I don't know how it works to share it out, if you would please, but hey, here we are. It's a brand new year. Oh, thank you. All the folks giving me little shout outs on the screen. There's Nikki and Neshi. Thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you for taking the Tarot Journey on this January, the January edition of the Tarot Journey. Wow. Things have really come around. I was doing some work myself tonight before I got on the broadcast, doing some personal work, tuning into spirit, listening for my own messages, and I like to pull cards. I think that the messages in the cards and the images and the symbols, they really speak to me. So as I was doing that work and I had gone through some notes, that some of those cards came up for me last year about this time, January, February timeframe. So it's interesting how things come around, and how that happens is to take a peek into where you were, where you're going, where you want to be. I wish I could see your comments. I don't quite know how this works. I just basically see a white strip down the side, and I see a couple of you watching this evening. So what I want to do is get started right away with calling in sacred space. Because we have a lot to talk about. And I want to make sure that we are surrounded in that bubble of sacred space. So I wrote this specifically for the show tonight. And I want to read it because as I'm reading the words, it's going in through my eyes and into my heart and then out my throat chakra. And so I invite you, wherever you are, to join in this sacred space, this prayer that was given to me. Holy angels and ancient ones, glistening stars to light our way, please gently surround us for this uplifting evening, we pray. Sacred elements within us, bones, blood, spirit, and skin, we ask your fullest presence. Surround without and within. Mother Earth and sacred ones, the holiest light, we pray. Please gently surround us for our time together today. Amun. Amen. So be it, so it is. And so here we are in our sacred space, and I can just feel it. I can just feel it. Let's see if the comments are coming up. Okay, now I can see the comments. Meg is here, Sonia is here, Rob is here, Neshi and Nikki, thank you all for being here this evening. The show tonight is called Opening Doors, and I was challenged, or rather inspired by a friend to open some doors, in my life, to open some doors in different hallways of my life. We'll see. I'll say it that way. Different hallways of my life, to go in and retrieve, to go in and take a look around, and to go in and get the juiciest bits out the ones that I can use to see what gifts are in there, what lessons, what challenges that I can undertake to take me to new doors, down different hallways, and expand that way. So tonight's show, that person who inspired me on this topic, tonight's show is called Opening Doors. And I remembered that I had talked about opening doors, and I wrote about it in the Tarot Journey Volume 1, my book. Got my book right here, showing all of us, the Tarot Journey Volume 1 by Julie Hedges. I wrote about opening doors in one of the chapters, and I want to read just an excerpt of that. It was in a slightly different context, but the title is called Abriendo Puertas, and I'm going to write that in the chat room here so we can see that. Abriendo Puertas, opening doors, that's Spanish. And okay, the comments still have a slight 5-second delay. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate that. Abriendo Puertas, and if you had come to the Tarot Journey page this evening before the show, or you're getting ready to join us this evening, you saw this song that I posted, Gloria Estefan, Abriendo Puertas, opening doors, and also the translation of the song, opening doors and closing wounds, going into the new year. After the rain comes a beautiful day. And so as we are beginning this new year, that's where we all are. We are opening doors. So I want to just read a little excerpt here from the Tarot Journey Volume 1. This is on page 38, an article that I wrote, a piece that I wrote that's in the book. The song Abriendo Puertas by Gloria Estefan means opening doors. And it inspires us to open the doors and embrace the blessings. Acknowledge the role of spirit in our lives. Each time we open the doors to spirit, we have the opportunity to heal the wounds of our past, heal the wounds of now. At Star Nations, we talk about when we heal wounds, we are going not only healing now, but going 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So the mission that you undertake when you come here, when you open that door to from spirit into the physical world, this is interesting. This is where it wasn't where I was planning on going tonight. But when you open those doors to go from spirit into the physical, you are taking on the opportunity to clean things up, to repair things, to make connections, and to follow through with projects and processes and learning and relationships that you said you would do. So tonight's show about opening doors was really an invitation, an inspiration from a very dear friend of mine for me to open some doors in my own life. And this is the Tarot Journey, and I'm sharing my journey with you. I know we opened Sacred Space because I want to get right to business and talk about, and I'll get to some announcements before we leave, I promise. So somebody would remind me to get to announcements. But I want to talk about this brave new year that we're on. And if you read the January article that I wrote for Star Nations magazine, I called it Brave New Year. 2018 is the year of 11. 2 plus 1 plus 8 plus 0 is 11. 11 in numerology is a very special number. It's called a master number, and we've got some master we have some master numerologist here in the chat room tonight. And yes, thank you. Neshi's saying that she's sharing like crazy and loving the show. So if you would share out, tweet out, and comment on the show, I would just so appreciate that. Thank you. Back to 2018 is an 11-year. It's the brave new year. This is about spiritual awakening, enlightenment. 11, the 11th house in astrology is about networking and making connections. It's the house of cosmic wisdom, and it's ruled by the planet Uranus. Uranus is that gas planet sitting between Saturn and Neptune. And Uranus's job is to collect that cosmic wisdom from the farthest reaches of the galaxy and the galaxies, and to funnel it down into Earth. That's his job. So when we get to an 11-year, that's what's going on. And you know what else is really super powerful and crazy and awesome about this brand new year? Is we start out with a bang, bang. Bang, bang. This is a big month energetically. Maybe you felt it. Maybe you're feeling it. Maybe this roller coaster. Maybe you're getting bumped around. So let me just tell you, January, we have 2 full moons. Full moons, that's culmination. That's completion. That's the full moon mother who is ready to give birth. She hasn't yet given birth, but she is full and ready. It's done. That bun and coming is done. It's ready to be shared, ready to be disseminated. But it's the fullness, the completeness of the project, the completeness of making the life so that it can be born. So we have 2 of those this month. 2 opportunities to really seal or complete the project so it can be born. That first opportunity was on January 1st, New Year's Day, which is a special day anyway. Very special day for all of us in the Western world, in the Northern Hemisphere. We call that New Year's Day. Just an arbitrary time frame, really, in the Gregorian calendar, but it's the reset button. Yay, we start over. Our New Year's resolutions kick in. Partying of the night before, we got to get up, wash our face, brush our teeth, and get on with it. It's a brand new year. That old one, whoo, put it in the rubbish bin. It's done. Brand new year. So we started our year with this completion that's ready to be born. So everything that culminated in 2017, boom, born, but in a very beautiful and loving way. And that's what the astrology tells us. So our January 1st full moon was in 11 degrees of Cancer. And let me write that up here. I'm just going to say 11 Cancer, and then, gosh, I'm having trouble with the, hi, Holly. More comments here. Here we go. Rob says, I did not risk everything fighting George II to become George I. Ah, yes. George Washington and 11. Interesting. 2 1s becoming a 2. He was offered the crown of the U.S. and refused it, creating instead a republic. Excellent. So using that cosmic wisdom to birth something brand new, something very enlightened for the good of humanity. That's also the 11th house. That's also Uranus. So we've got We've got the energy of 11 that is so super solidified. It's really hitting us. It's really offering itself to us, as in a strong wave coming into shore. It's 11 year, people. It's 11 full moon. And guess what? At the end of the month, it's another 11 full moon. So I'm spending a lot of time on this because it's important. I think it's very important. The stars tell our story. Tells a story of life, love, relationships. Those stars are distilled down within the tarot, a handheld mirror, the book of life. So all these pieces fit together. However you relate to this energy, I talk about it through the language of astrology and the language of tarot. So back to these full moons. First full moon was on January the 1st in 11 of Cancer. 11, here we have spiritual enlightenment, social ingenuity, enlightenment, the cosmic mind coming into the earth plane. All for one and one for all. Very much the Three Musketeers. That's what 11 is in astrology. Talking about the 11th house, talking about Uranus, talking about the sign of Aquarius, and the Aquarians out there. Technology, expansion, humanity, groups, social networks, and how you receive love. This is where it needs to go. How you receive love. That's not something that we talk about a lot. We talk about giving, being open, giving to people. Those of us who are empaths, we are giving all the time. And sometimes when we walk by, we can let people's stuff stick to us. Or it becomes like a cloud or a fog that gets stuck on us. But this is about receiving the 11th house, Uranus, Aquarius, all those words, same thing. About receiving love. So, 11, Cancer. 11, spiritual enlightenment, receiving love. Humanity, cosmic wisdom, in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is the nurturer. Cancer is the sensitive one. Cancer is sentimental. Cancer is psychic. Understanding and nurturing that inner voice. Cancer is also the stomach. Cancer rules the stomach, and the stomach on the body, if you know anatomy, the stomach is right kind of underneath the rib cage. So there's the heart and the stomach. You know, as a little girl, I thought that the stomach was kind of way down there, but in anatomy, those of you who are nurses, doctors, and all that good stuff, you know that the stomach is really tucked underneath our rib cage, very close to the heart. So Cancer is the stomach. It's how you digest, how you are nourished, how you are sustained. So we start this year with the fullness of that, getting ready to be born. The fullness of how you are nourished, how you are sensitive and use your sensibilities, how you digest, what you digest, what you take in, and having that discernment there. So what I want to do first is I want to go to the tarot, and I want to pull a card for all of us. Let me grab them here. Got to get off to the side. I want to grab a card first, using the wisdom and the language of the tarot about what this full moon in 11 Cancer is offering to all of us, what it has offered. Because even though technically the full moon is done, that was, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, right? Because I'm on the 3rd Monday of every month. Thank you for joining me tonight. Still shuffling. Spirit's telling me to shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. What is it offering? Because at the the full moon at the beginning of the year, it's setting the tone for the entire year. Here we've got the card. I'm kind of like, drum roll. What's this going to be? What's this going to be? Okay. Can you see that? Let me pull it back just a tad. We have the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands. Take a good look at this card. Just study it for a minute. The 8 of Wands. Wands in the tarot is fire energy. Fire is action and passion and drama and motivation and spiritual mastery. That's one thing that's often forgotten about the element of fire. It's spiritual mastery. The Holy Spirit is spiritual fire, spiritual mastery. And so 8 is about transformation. 8 means transformation. And when I teach the tarot, when I talk about the tarot, the suit cards, these are the suit cards, the wands, the cups, the pentacles, the swords, they're all the suit cards. Let me get that closer. Talking about the suit cards, you have the ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those represent 3 different, I don't want to call them levels, but 3 different lessons that we go through. So ace, 2, and 3, that's the body. That's all about the body, the physical. And this is any suit. So it corresponds with the body. 4, 5, and 6 correspond with the mind, your mental work, your mental mastery within that particular suit, within that particular element, the mental component of that. And 7, 8, and 9 is all about spiritual. So we are in an 11 year, just had an 11 full moon in the sign of Cancer, of nourishment, nurturing. And now what does that mean for us? The tarot is telling us that it signifies, or it's symbolized by the 8 of Wands. Fiery passion, spiritual mastery. And 8 meaning transformation. So let's just let that sink in for a minute. That's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. And that's just the first one. That's just the first one. Oh, so many good things that are rolling through tonight. Abriendo puertas, opening the doors. Opening the doors. Opening the doors. Oh, this is interesting. As I was shuffling again, we had 2 cards pop out. So, Spirit's telling me that they're part of this too. So let's talk about the other full moon that we have in this month of January. On January 31st, we have full moon. And 2 full moons in a month is called a blue moon. You've heard that phrase, once in a blue moon, because it's rare. It is rather rare. Maybe once every 3 or 4 years. Not extremely rare, but you know, ever whip stitch. That's another one. Once in a blue moon. And this one is at 11 Leo. I'm typing that in. 11 Leo. Wow. Another 11. We have an 11 year, starting with 11 Cancer. So we've talked about 11. We've talked about what Cancer means. Now at the end of the month, so we just have a few more days here. we have another culmination. We have another completion in the sign of Leo. Leo is the king or the queen, the sovereign, the ruler. In the tarot, Leo is the emperor of the tarot. So that kingliness, that regal royalty. Leo is all about the heart and heart wisdom. So we have, first off, we're starting our year in the stomach chakra. Very important with nourishment and sensitivity and what we digest or what we don't digest. Now we move up to the heart, when what we're taking into the body to be used by the whole body system. Now we're talking about the authenticity of the heart. That's exactly what Leo is. So everything I just said about 11 year, everything I just said about the numeral 11 now applies to Leo. And I just need to say that it is rare, relatively rare, that your moons, either new moon or full moon, are going to fall on the exact degree of another one in the same year. In the same year. So 11 Cancer, specifically 11 Cancer, 37 minutes. So you have degrees and minutes and seconds in astrology. I know that's probably way more information than you really want. But 11 Cancer, 37. Okay. And so this full moon at the end of the month on January 31st at the exact time is 8:26 a.m. Eastern, so 7:26 Central for me. And then we have 5:26 a.m. Pacific time for those who are on the West Coast. Exactly at 11 Leo 37. Exactly on it. So this is your bang bang. This is the message being hit home. So we have the stomach get its message first. And so I need to ask, and you can go back about 3 weeks and let me know, did you have any stomach issues around that time? Now I'm an astrologer, but I also live my life, right? So I don't always put it together. So I was sick to my stomach right after Christmas for 2 days. Oh, I was like green, like I had just stepped off a roller coaster. And one day it was a roller coaster, an evil, awful roller coaster. Did anybody else have any stomach issues before or after that full moon? What's that mean? What's that mean? I want to get to the chat room here. Holly is asking, her niece, who is now 22 years old, that's another master number. That's a master builder. One who is here to, 22 is to make things solid. The master builder from a master plan. Her niece, who's 22 years old, was born on 11/11. I always wondered what that meant for her. There are a couple sites that I love talking about angel numbers. One is called Sacred Scribes. So if you just type in Google master number 11, we'll say, or master number 11, so 1111, comes up Sacred Scribes, Doreen Virtue, if you like her work. She does have some good information about those master numbers, those numerology. So when you get into 11 doubled, it's putting more emphasis on, hey, this is spiritual enlightenment, spiritual wisdom, and be really aware of your thoughts because they are instant manifestation. Instant manifestation. And I want to say a word about that before I get back to Leo. It feels like I'm being ping, ping, ping. Spirit is telling me, go here, go here, go here. So a little bit about, I just lost it. Where did you want me to go? Neshi is saying in numerology 22 is all things are possible, and it is about co-creation. Thank you, Neshi. Neshi is a master numerologist. Lots of wisdom there. I tap her for a lot of numerology. So I'll get back to 11 Leo and see if that other information comes in that want to get to. Leo is the king or the queen, the royalty, the regal one, the one who is honored, the ruler. And so the core question of Leo is, how are you the ruler and authority in your own life? That's first. And secondly, how authentic are you? How authentic in your heart? Leo rules the heart. This is important. Leo rules the heart. How authentic are you in your heart? So this is the question that is coming up. First, the stars asked our stomach, what are you digesting? What are you taking in? Did you eat too many cookies at Christmas? Did you eat some things that you normally don't eat, or drink some things you normally don't drink? And how did that affect you? How did that go to your head? How did that affect your body? Did it come back up or go the other way? Yeah. Did you have stomach issues? Was it hard to digest? Were you sustained? Were you nourished? So now, that was a big question for a lot of us. And again, go back to your own life. And did you have stomach issues at and around Christmas time, the new year, a little after? Another piece of Cancer, and then I promise I'll get back to Leo. Another piece of Cancer. Cancer is also called the Great Mother. Mother wisdom. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is the soul. The moon is the mother. Mother moon. Grandmother moon. So another piece, did issues of mother come up around that time? Issues of your roots and your heritage and your lineage. I know that the holidays can be challenging for some folks when you have to get together with family. You know, Uncle Ed, who makes bad political jokes at the dinner table, and, you know, all of that with the holidays. And then this other piece added on. It might have been Mr. Toad's Wild Ride for you. It might have. And so I'm only offering this to say it might not just be because it was the holidays and you had to get together with Uncle Ed or Uncle Henry or, you know, whatever, and have the conversations that you don't want to keep having. So at the end of the month, this blue moon, another super moon. And what a super moon means is that it's closest to the earth at this time. So this full moon on the 1st was a full moon in Cancer, super moon, close to the earth. So we might have felt it in our bodies. I know I felt it in my body. I felt it in my stomach chakra, I'll say. So we can feel it at the end of the month as well. We might even be starting to feel it now as it's coming through. And so that is Leo, heart wisdom, all about the heart. The heart chakra is now activated, involved. It's waking up. It is enlivened. It is being asked to participate. How authentic are you in your life? How much of an authority are you? What are you taking into your heart? What are you giving out? And I'm going to see if any, I just see if any other come through. Sonia is saying, I didn't have any stomach issues, but oddly, more people seem to report having a stomach virus around that time. Yeah, I did. Things you can't stomach coming back up. Holly is also saying, my nephew is a Cancer and very empathetic with a lot of stomach problems. Yes, Cancer rules the stomach. There you go. Thanks, Meg. Makes sense. Very interesting info. Yeah. Blue Moon at 11, Leo. Thanks, Neshi. Huh. Yeah, Rob, I do have my caps lock on. Sorry. I'm not yelling at anybody in the chat room, I promise. So the authenticity of the heart. So these two cards came out as I was shuffling to finish the discussion about Cancer. And so Spirit is telling me that these are our cards, group cards, for what the full moon in Leo, full moon at 11 Leo, is bringing to us. First, now let me back that up on the camera. The Three of Wands. Here we have more Wands energy. The Three of Wands. Wands is fire, passion, action, motivation, and spiritual mastery. The Three is right here, setting out to make things happen. Watching the ships come in. See, is standing on the boulder there, overlooking the yellow ocean. That's very interesting, right? Watching the ships come in. And I have always felt with this particular card is going on a journey, that the destination has been set and now it's time to go. All the plans have been made, the itinerary, your bags are packed. You know, you got your blankie and your little teddy bear in your bag and your toothbrush. And now you're headed down to the dock. You're going to get on the ship and you're going to go. So what does that mean when we're talking about Leo, the authenticity of the heart? You've got all the information. You've got the itinerary. All the decisions are made. Now it's time to execute. It's time to pull the trigger. It's time to say, okay, the authenticity of my heart is the most important, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Now, and we had another card, because there were two that popped up. Two that popped up. Here we go. Here's our other card for Leo full moon at the end of the month. The Four of Wands. Yes, it's four energy. I didn't make this up. It just happens this way. The Four of Wands. Great celebration. Great celebration. It's happiness. The Four is solid completion. If you stay the course, if you do the work, if you run, you're going to get to your destination. If you execute, if you cross the line that you have made for yourself, if you open the door and go across the threshold, here you are. Here's your great celebration. So be true to your heart. Be true to your heart. That's what this is all about. And the sacred elements within us. I really like this prayer that came to me that I shared tonight. This prayer, the sacred elements within us, bones, blood, spirit, and skin, are the sacred elements within us. How they will be fortified by our authenticity. Our authenticity. So let's talk about opening doors. That's really what the show was supposed to be about tonight. Now, I have to take a minute and find my card because we had a BeLive glitch. So I'm looking for the High Priestess. Oh, here she is. I'm looking for the High Priestess to show you, because I wasn't able to get it on BeLive tonight. So here we go. Trying to hold it up for us so we can see the High Priestess. That's the card that I used in the promo, and I was going to show it tonight right here. We're talking about abriendo puertas, cerrando heridas, opening doors and closing wounds. Here we have the High Priestess. She is sitting at the temple doors between these two pillars, the black pillar and the white pillar. The pillar with the B on it is Boaz. And Rob, I know that you know what these are. Can you type them in the chat room, please? And the one that has the J on it is Jacqueline. Boaz and Jacqueline. And here she is sitting at the temple, right at the entrance of the temple, with a scroll in her hand, between the two pillars, the pillars of Boaz and Jacqueline. And let me refresh this here. Boaz, these are the two pillars that are in front of Solomon's temple. Boaz and Jacqueline. Boaz on the left bower of the temple. That means strength. Jacqueline on the right bower, the right column of the temple. See if I can get this out of the glare. I don't know, it's worse. Get it out of the glare a little bit. Jacqueline means he endures, meaning he as in God endures. So these two pillars at the entrance of the temple mean that this is a place of high spiritual mastery. And the High Priestess sits at the temple doors. And behind her here, whoops, let me see if I can point. Behind here are pomegranate seeds. Pomegranate seeds, pomegranate seeds. She is guarding the entrance of the temple within, the temple to the deep depths of where growth happens. And these pomegranate seeds are very significant. If you remember a story, a Greek story about a mother named Demeter and a daughter named Persephone, how Persephone was tricked to going away from her mother, going away from this beautiful meadow of flowers where she loved to frolic and play. She was tricked to go into the underworld with Pluto, called Hades by the Greeks, with Hades. And when her mother found out where she was, she said, Zeus, hey, go get my daughter. I need my daughter back. The love of my life, the beautiful flower is my daughter. And so Zeus told Hades, okay, you got to let her go. Let her go back to her mother. But before he let her leave, he tricked Persephone into eating magic pomegranate seeds. And those magic pomegranate seeds bound her to him forever. So every year she has to go to the underworld. Persephone, the maiden, has to go to the underworld. I'm going to take that down for a minute. She has to go to the underworld. Thanks, Rob, Boaz, and Jacqueline. Where she is the king of the, the queen of the underworld, Persephone. And it is that time that her mother Demeter is so distraught and heartbroken that her daughter is not with her, is that Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, refuses to grow anything. So the world lays fallow, and that's why we have winter. These stories and myths, they pop up into our psyches, into our realm. I just love them. And so we have the high priestess sitting in between the temple doors with her pomegranate seeds. And so she's telling us, when you enter, when I let you enter the temple, when I let you enter the temple, there is real strength and endurance that is needed to enter into the doors, because you must enter through Boaz and Jachin, the two columns. And when you enter, you will be given a pomegranate seed to know that there are times when you must spend in the deep, fertile depths, the dark nights of the soul, which we all know about, which we talk about. Sometimes they last a day, sometimes they last a full season. These pomegranate seeds are letting us know that, and even though we are in those times of deep composting growth, we will be nourished. Pomegranates are sweet, juicy, delicious. So she's saying, enter the temple doors. Enter the temple doors. Abriendo puertas. Are you opening the door? Are you opening the door to this year? Are you opening the door to hallways in your life? To see some things that maybe you didn't know were there? Collecting pieces of yourself, collecting tools and gifts and resources. Maybe you open a door and there's an old friend standing there. An old friend as a person, or an old friend as a talent, or an old friend as a creative process. Are you opening the door? But here's another part of it. It's okay to wait to open the door. I know everybody talks about the brand new year and it's a rush, yay, and here we go. Let's fling open the doors and let's just go. It's okay to wait. Hi, Linda. Linda's saying hi. Hi, Del Marie. Hi, Tracy. Thank you all for being here this evening. I'm going to type my... It's hard for me to type and talk at the same time. I'm sorry. JulieSoliloquy.com. I hope I spelled that right. That is my poetry website. Yeah, here it's coming up. I've been on a personal journey. A door had opened for me back last year around this time. And and out came an old friend, and that old friend was poetry. And so I've been using poetry as part of a healing journey, or it has been coming through me as a healing journey. And so I've put it out there in the ethers. I will eventually publish, but you can go take a look at some of my works right now. And I'm going to share this. This is one of the poems that that came through. Poetry just comes through. I just sit and listen, and it comes through. And this is significant tonight because we don't always have to rush to open that door. This is called I Stopped at the Door. We don't always have to plow forward we can take a moment. We can be reticent. We can breathe. We can breathe into our stomach chakra. We can breathe into our heart chakra. It's called I stopped at the door. I stopped at the door. My heart disheveled, collapsed. Joan Crawford thirst, lonely and ravenous. Locked or unlocked, I can't be sure. This heart, stark naked and wild, lumbering, kicking, tripping, staggering out of the slicing wind, pelting stone, crushed ice vodka, desert thorn. Conveniently lost and hungry. Fat Buddha laughs at some distant camera, whispers, sit under the Bodhi tree. Vitarka Mudra, thumb kisses finger. Rare, exquisite embrace. Buddha chuckles, dance with the sweet lotus flower. Healing hands cradle my boozed, wandering heart, its burnt, ancient, desolate tower. Buddha prays, enter the Dharma door, a threefold refuge for the weariest souls and this heart. Are you ready? I stopped at the door. So on your way through this new year, on your way to examining what doors are out there, it's okay to wait. Sonia says she cracked the door to woodworking, hoping to step through. That's awesome. So maybe it's an old friend or a new friend. Okay, so we're down to a few minutes here, and I want to open it up for readings, because that's something that I love to do on the Tarot Journey Show. And you can tell me if you have a particular question on your heart tonight. I'm always open for that. If you want something just in general, I have come up with this subject, this question. What door do you need to open to more fully open your heart? So again, here, line up in the chat room if you would like to have a card drawn for you. And I'm going to try to refresh these. There is a little bit of a delay, as I'm understanding. So if you would like a card drawn for you tonight, what door do you need to open to more fully open your heart? Or if you have a particular question on your heart that you would like to take it to the tarot, let's do that. I just want to take a moment and thank everyone, again, who is on tonight. Let's see here. Trying to get some comments to come up. It seems like they don't come up unless I put something in. I'm just trying to refresh it a little bit. Okay. All right. Here, everybody's lined up. I love it. Okay. Rob, I'd like one if there is time. What door do you need to open to more fully open your heart? Let's see here. Okay. Here we go. Ooh. Ah, gosh. Trying to get that out of the glare. Here we go. The Five of Swords. The Five of Swords. What door do you need to open to more fully open your heart? This is about letting go. Letting go. Swords is mental energy. Letting go of old thoughts, patterns, records that are rewound in your mind. And what I'm actually hearing is like those old timey tapes, and I know you know have old cassette players where they go and they play again. So those things that just keep playing over and over again. It's like 3 words and then plays again and plays again and plays again. Letting those go to more fully open your heart and picking up a positive word, a positive thought, a positive motivation. You know, you know me and the phrase affirmation, but something to positively remind you of what your heart really is. Yeah. That's the door that needs to be opened. Alrighty. Meg, yes ma'am. What door do you need to open to more fully open your heart? Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Okay. All right. Here we've started on the swords. And okay, can you see this? There's a glare. This is the Page of Swords. And I think it's kind of hard to see in the light, but the page is holding a sword. Maybe that's a little bit better if there's less of a glare. So the Page of Swords. The page is the helper of the knight, kind of the gopher, kind of the groom, so to speak, right? So the Page of Swords is learning to be a leader, learning what true honor means, to be focused on what's good for the kingdom, and that's the kingdom of your heart. What's truly good for the kingdom of your heart? You are the queen of your heart. What's truly good for the kingdom of your heart? That's the door that needs to be open. Yes. And Nikki, what door needs to be opened for you to more fully open your heart? Okay, shuffling, 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 shuffling. Okay. Nikki, this one is for you. This is the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands. Wands is fire energy. So that's action, passion, motivation. 9 is don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing through. But you can see his head is bandaged. So that's either a bandage as in he's got a knot on his head, or it's a bandage as in wiping the sweat off of his brow. And what I'm feeling with this for you is really being discerning about all of the directions in which you go. There are 4 new project types that are making their way to you. If you don't already know what they are, I know that you know at least one of them, but there are 4 brand new project types, new creative additions to your Heartful Art studio, your Heartful Art business, your Heartful Art passion making its way to you. So where are you going to fit them in the room of your heart? We are finite creatures with infinite ideas and infinite motivation. So where are they going to fit in your heart? What rooms in your heart need to be cleaned out or prioritized? So that's part of this. New creativity coming through, but where are you going to prioritize? That's the door for you, Miss Nikki. Thank you. Jules. Oh, I love your name. Jules. What your angels and spirit guides want you to know. Want you to know about what door you need to open to more fully open your heart. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh. Here we have the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups for you, Jules. Look at all of those. You need to open the door to the buffet. For some reason, you've been staying away from the buffet for too long. Behind that door is a buffet, And look at all the things on the buffet. Places you can go, places you can be nourished, healing, learning, awakening, jewels, building, all of those things. Open the door of the buffet where you can be filled in your heart. That's your door, Jules. And Sonia, let me make sure that these comments are coming up. I'd love a card and the question that I mentioned. Heart seems to be buried very deep. Well, let's see. Let's see. Sonia. Oh, love it. The sun, the divine sun child. The divine golden child. Well, the focus is on your heart because the sun rules the sign of Leo. Leo rules the heart. So this is just another example of the focus is on your heart. Your heart seems to be buried very, very deep. So go down there. Go down there. Call to your heart. Tell your heart, I'm here. You can come home. Or I will come and get you. And we can come home together. The sun. And if that sounds difficult to you, well, then there's a way I think you can do that, either sunrise or sunset. Send a little prayer to the sun that you can see that's up there in the sky, which is really right here. So as you are looking at the sun, as you are appreciating the sun, saying a prayer to the sun, some appreciation, some positive word or affirmation, you're saying that to yourself. Go find your heart. Tell it to come home. Anybody else? I know we're coming up to the end of the line here. I'm trying to refresh these, so I want to get as many people as I can. The last comment that I'm seeing is Sonia's. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Linda. What door do you need to open to more fully open your heart? Oh. Ooh, we're getting very deep tonight. For you, Linda, it's the moon. The moon is all about the soul. The moon is all about nurturing and nourishing and paying attention to that little voice that says, maybe you should go to the post office right now. Because if you go to the post office right now, you might run into your cousin that you've been trying to get a hold of for ancestry purposes. Oh, they're right there. Or maybe you should not leave the house right now. Listening to that voice, listening to that intuition, listening to that voice that says, that little birdie that's pecking on my window, oh, that might be my long passed away cousin Bernice, who I had a really special connection with. Listening to that voice, your intuition. Setting down the practicality. That's what needs to be said right now, is setting down the practicality for a moment to pick up the cup of intuitive wisdom. Yeah. Ruth, welcome. Ruth would like a card. What door do you need to open more fully into your heart? Ruth, for you it's Temperance. Temperance. I love all these major arcana cards. Temperance. Temperance is the water bearer. It corresponds to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the higher mind. Sagittarius is all about learning and teaching, writing, wisdom. So Ruth, it's time for you to write. It's time for you to get out your notebooks, your papers, your old journals. Maybe you have some poetry in there. Time to get out and sharpen up your pencil. You're learning, you're teaching, you're writing. Balancing, letting the waters of spirit flow into the physical. That balancing, that's for you, Ruth. Anybody that I missed? I know we're over a little bit time, but I thank you so much for staying with me. Had some technical challenges tonight. It seems I have to post these odd one-off letters into the chat room to get them to scroll up. You're quite welcome, Rom. Okay, anybody else? Did I miss anyone? Trying to get this thing to scroll up. So thank you, Jocelyn, for joining, and Mary Wesley has joined. Loading, loading, loading. Let's see if it's going to come up. I don't want to miss anybody. Anybody. I tell you what, the last comment that I'm able to see right now is Rob saying thank you. So I have a feeling that there are more comments down there. And thank you for the hearts and the flower came through and the thumbs up. Thank you all for those. Looks like I need to sign off now, but if I missed somebody in the chat room, please email me at thetarotjourney@gmail.com. Let me get that. I promise I'm not screaming at you. If my caps locks are on, tarotjourney@gmail.com. You can email me and I'll get you a card for what door do you need to open to more fully open your heart. As I end every broadcast, I really mean it. Spirit was very particular about how I structure my show and what it really entails and what it embodies. And so I mean this every time I say it. May the peace that surpasses all human understanding be with each and every one of you. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. And good night.